So Gilead Sciences has been trying to develop some type of, drug or treatment to help with, COVID-19, and they have been funded to the tune of $70 million in taxpayer support. Link this article from Common Dreams down below by Jake Johnson. And now it looks like a $3,100 price tag for COVID-19 drug, again, that was developed with $70 million of US taxpayer support. So obviously we need Medicare for all. The United States is one of the very few, if not the only, so-called industrialized country in the world that does not guarantee healthcare as a human right to its citizens. We also pay more than double compared to most industrialized countries for our healthcare. We have horrible health outcomes, so we get shit healthcare for all that money we're spending. All we're doing is enriching corporations like Gilead and these for-profit healthcare companies, and it's really sick and disgusting. Drug companies should be nationalized. We should also, I think, go to more of a NHS, a British-style healthcare system where it's public funding of public hospitals. So let's take a look at this just really disgusting shit that's going on here. And again, it's not surprising. I mean, it's what happens under a capitalist system. These companies will try to seek as much profit as they can, even during a pandemic, even when they're trying to develop, vaccines or medicines to help people. That's not really their end goal. Their end goal is to make money off people's death and suffering, and that's hugely, hugely disgusting, but that's a problem that's inherent to capitalism. Consumer advocates reacted with disgust Monday to an announcement by Gilead Sciences that it will charge U.S. hospitals around $3,100 per privately insured patient for a treatment course of remdesivir, a drug which has proven modestly effective at speeding COVID-19 recovery times. Peter Meyer-Burdick, director of Public Citizens Access to Medicine Programs, called Gilead's pricing, which works out to around $520 per dose for non-government buyers like hospitals, quote, an offensive display of hubris and disregard for the public, and slammed the Trump administrations for failing to ensure that the price of a drug developed with substantial taxpayer support is affordable for all. Of course, Trump could give two shits about that. Meyer-Burdick pointed to an Institute for Clinical and Economic Review research showing Gilead could still make profit by pricing remdesivir at $310 per course. But again, they want to extract as much money out of people as they can, as much money out of hospitals, whether private or public, because that's the goal in capitalism. Unlimited growth, unlimited money. Enough is never enough. You gotta keep sucking people dry. Gilead has priced at several $1,000s a drug that should be in the public domain. For $1 per day, remdesivir can be manufactured at scale with a reasonable profit. For $1 a day, remdesivir can be manufactured at scale with a reasonable profit, Meyer-Burdick said in a statement. Gilead did not make remdesivir alone. Public funding was indispensable at each stage, and government scientists led the early drug discovery team. Allowing Gilead to set the terms during a pandemic represents a colossal failure leadership by the Trump administration. Hopefully a colossal failure, but again, to be expected for sure. Public Citizen estimated in a May report that U.S. taxpayers contribute at least $70.5 million to the $1 million to the development of remdesivir. Kind of seems like a pretty substantial amount, doesn't it? And yet here we are having to buy the drug at an extremely high cost. Pretty disgusting. Shortly after Gilead's announcement, the U.S. Health and Human Services Department said it reached an agreement with the pharmaceutical giant to produce more than 500,000 treatment courses of remdesivir for American hospitals. And, I mean, again, 500,000 may seem like a lot, but we've had, I believe, several million actually have contracted it. and we have it's close to like a quarter of the deaths in the world, and I think a quarter of the cases as well in the United States. We're number one, but again, not in ways that we want to be, or should want to be at least. Wall Street Journal, let's see, here we go. Unlike the US, the journal notes, the governments of other advanced nations negotiate drug prices directly with the drug makers. We don't do that. What do you know? And then they're able to jack up these prices exponentially during a pandemic where it's what, close to 120,000 people have already died from COVID. Representative Lloyd Doggett, D. Texas, chair of the House and Ways Means Health Subcommittee, said in a statement that, quote, Trump's refusal to stop pandemic profiteering with the stroke of a pen is a green light to other manufacturers to exploit the strategy. Doggett said he is pressuring the Trump administration and Gilead to disclose the details of the agreement, including the sum the government paid for the 500,000 treatment courses of remdesivir. On Twitter, Senator Bernie Sanders, independent of Vermont, I mean, I'm honestly pretty down at Bernie at this point, and I don't. He needs to get rid of that eye. He's a fucking Democrat through and through. Let's be real here. Condemn Gilead's price tag as beyond disgusting. Taxpayers provided funding for the development of this drug. Now Gilead is price gouging off it during the pandemic, said Sanders. Coronavirus treatment must be free to all. I mean, I agree with him on that point for sure. So this is pharmaceuticals on capitalism, or capitalism on pharmaceuticals. These companies, again, profit motive is key. They could give two shits about helping people. Their primary motivation is to make as much money as they can, even if that means charging hospitals as much money as they can for a drug that looks like, as they said, moderately effective at helping people recovering from COVID. Again, that's not their primary motive. They want to make as much money as they can. Consequences be damned. And again, that's the whole thing of capitalism. Having exponential growth on a finite planet. That's why we need to drastically change how we're interacting with each other, with the planet, or human species isn't going to be here too much longer, unfortunately. Peace. Much love.